Okay, can you hear me now? Is everyone good? Oh, greetings from Georgia. Jordan. All right, can you guys hear me now? Yes, yes, I'm getting all these. Yes, yeah, good. Good morning, everyone. And once more, it is morning here in beautiful Spokane, Washington. And wherever you are, I hope that you are enjoying a good, again, morning, afternoon, evening, that you're enjoying a good day. I'm always so happy and encouraged, and it makes my heart just smile when I see all of you guys clicking in to join us for Smrt English and finishing up today's lesson, a little bit of vocabulary, and then we will get started. Just wanted to check so everyone can hear me okay where you are. All right, wonderful. Well, I wanted to, there we go. I wanted to start today with a little thing that I'm going to call common mistakes that English speakers and writers make. So common mistakes that English speakers and writers make. Within the last couple days, I've gotten a few emails from friends or just people, and it always reminds me, it always makes me aware of common mistakes that native English speakers make. And what's always funny to me is that you as ESL learners don't commonly make these mistakes. So I think it's something that people pick up bad habits of doing and then just never correct it as native English speakers or writers. So with that, I wanted to just make you aware and let you know some things, some common mistakes that English speakers and writers make. Give me one moment. I'm going to check the comment box. Good. Oh, thank you, Rosa. Thank you. Rosa said, I like your accessories. This was actually my grandmother's pearl necklace, and she has since passed away. If you're not familiar, passed away is just a more polite way of saying that she has died. So she has since passed away, but I was fortunately left with some of her jewelry. So thank you so much for the kind compliment, Rosa. And as always, I'm so glad to see that you are here in class again. All right. So common mistakes that English speakers and writers make. So the first one I mentioned, I believe a couple weeks ago, and it's a lot. So a common mistake is that people will write a lot as one word. And as we know from going over our lesson on a lot, lots, many, much, a lot is two words. But again, it's a very common mistake that native English speakers and writers will use it as one word. But since you guys are smart learners, that won't be a problem. So a lot, two words. Checking over. Yes, they are two separate words. Good observation. The second one is your, and there we go, we'll put a space, and your. This one is very common, and I actually corrected a friend of mine on a text message yesterday. And I'm sure all of my wonderful friends are like, we get it. It's a text. Texting is informal. But I'm an English teacher, of course. So whenever I see these mistakes get made, it just makes me pause. And so I thought maybe we'll add a little segment, common mistakes. So my friend made a mistake yesterday in a text message. So your versus your. Your, of course, well, first let's see if good. You are means you are your. Yes, so the first your shows ownership. So your car, your home, your class. Conversely, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. In America, we are kind of famous for always being in a hurry, always being in a rush. And I really noticed this when I was fortunate enough to travel around parts of Europe. I studied in Cyprus, which is a little island in the Mediterranean. And then I spent some time in Greece, in Turkey, in Italy. And the one thing that I noticed is dinner in particular, how much people really enjoy that time together. And in Cyprus, it was common, it was about average for dinner to last 2 hours. And we just enjoyed each other's company. In America, we are always, it seems, in a rush. And we don't take that time to, at least with dinner and our meals, it would seem to me, in my opinion, we don't take that time to always really enjoy the food and enjoy each other's company. So going back to my thought on common mistakes, with Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, we know that Americans are in a hurry, okay, as I just said, and we like to make things shorter and quicker. And so we know that that apostrophe lets us know that something's been shortened. And as you guys said on here, a wonderful observation is that that is short for you are, okay? So you are all wonderful for joining me every week, and you make me laugh. I really always enjoy all the comments that we have over in the live stream. So your versus your, as in you are. It's a common mistake that English speakers and writers use. Okay? Going on, my last one for today is there, and there. So we know that the first one, T-H-E-R-E, is there, as in a place. Spain is my next destination that I hope to make later this summer. I am so excited to go there. The second one, of course, T-H-E-I-R, is there, as in I'm going to their house, ownership. And the last one, T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, once more, that apostrophe is letting us know that something has been taken out. English speakers, we're looking for shortcuts. So instead of saying they are, we shorten it to there. So again, that would be they are. Right? One moment, I'm going to check over in the comment box. All right. Thank you. Good. All right, so going over this, just a quick review, common mistakes that English speakers and writers make. A lot, it's 2 words. Your, showing ownership, versus your, short for you are. And then our last one, there, and there. And of course, with they are, once more with that, That apostrophe is letting us know that something has been taken out, and we are shortening they are. So, common mistakes, English speakers make them, English writers make them, but since you guys are smart students, you already have that advantage. I just want to encourage you, if you are interested, you can always become a premium subscriber and get all the extra benefits from Smrt English and our live classes. All right, wonderful. Okay, so first we are going to just finish up the vocabulary. My goodness, as I looked, there is over 60 words in this vocabulary list. So it's no wonder that it's taking us a little bit of time to get through them. But we are on slide 53, word 53. We will get through that. And it's important that we do. Once more, I love vocabulary. I love words. And if you've joined in past videos, you've heard how I've likened words and building your vocabulary to building a house. The more vocabulary you have, the more words you know, the more you can build that house, the more it enables you to say. So that instead of just saying good, I had a good time on my visit to Europe and parts of the world, I can say, using one of our vocabulary words, I had an awesome time, which is like good, but even better. Very, very good. I had a good time in my visits to Europe, China, other places. Even more, I had a truly awesome time. And one of the reasons was, again, I really enjoyed how Europeans in particular, in my experience, just enjoy a little bit slower, and in particular with dinner and spending time with each other. They're not in such a rush. And Americans, once more, and I should probably add Canadians too, because of course we are partner schools with the Canadian College of English Language and us, Spokane College of English Language. So I will say Americans and Canadians always seem to be in a hurry. But I certainly enjoyed my time in Europe. I had a good time. Even more, I had an awesome time. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, let me look at the comments real quick. Okay, what is great. I'm going to encourage everyone to please be appropriate and please be kind if you are choosing to join our class. One of my motivations, one thing that I always share with my students, kind of in a way my life motto is be kind. Everyone needs kindness. Everyone, I believe that it is our job, no matter what culture or country you're from, we all appreciate and we all benefit from kindness. So looking over at the comments, thank you, Rosa. As always, you are wonderful. But I just really want to encourage everyone that if you're going to make a comment in our class, I would ask that you be kind and that you please be respectful. So with that, let's go ahead and try to finish up all of this vocabulary. But once more, all of this vocabulary is so important because there's such great words, and we're helping build that vocabulary, build your language acquisition, so the language that you acquire, and helping to build that bigger house. All right, so thirsty. I'm really thirsty. Do you have any water? As always, I come prepared. I have my morning coffee or tea in case I get thirsty. So thirsty just means that your mouth, you need a beverage. You need something to drink. So as we can see from this illustration with this little guy, he is definitely enjoying whatever beverage he is partaking in. He seems to be really thirsty. All right. Good. And my apologies if I'm not always able to get to all of the comments and all of your questions. Again, that's a really great reason to become a premium subscriber. If sometimes we are not able to get through all of the questions or comments on the live stream, because as you know, they're just coming in so quick. We have so many wonderful viewers from all over the world. So my apologies if I'm not ever able to get to all of your questions or comments. Once more, that's something that if you are interested, you can benefit from by becoming a premium subscriber. Continuing on with our list. So thirsty. I'm really thirsty. I need water. I need coffee. I need tea. Do you have any water? So thirsty, it would be the same as hungry. I'm hungry. Hungry means, of course, that you want food. You want something to eat. Thirsty means you need something to drink. You would like something to drink. Right. Tight. And I have to laugh at this picture. These jeans are too tight. I need a bigger size. So tight, sometimes it's helpful to know synonyms, so words that mean the same, words that we could use interchangeably. And I think sometimes it's helpful to know the antonyms, so words that mean the exact opposite. So with that, tight, the antonym for tight, the exact opposite of tight would be loose. So again, this picture has to make me laugh. This example has to make me laugh because I think a lot of us have thought that before. These jeans are too tight. I need a bigger size. All right? Sleep tight. Great example, Abdulaziz. Yes, we also have common expression when we are going to bed or we are bidding someone farewell for the evening or for the night. Sleep tight just means sleep comfortably. Very good observation, Abdulaziz. Well done. All right. May we say slim instead of tight? So slim, a synonym for slim would be like, if we were speaking about a person, would be skinny. If we were saying someone is slim or slight built or skinny, it just means that they are tiny. So we wouldn't use slim and tight interchangeably, but perhaps we could say that someone that is slim doesn't have a problem with tight fitting clothes. Because once again, to be slim, if we're speaking about someone and how they look, it would be someone that was slight built or skinny. Really good observation there. Thank you. Melinda, I think starving is stronger than hungry. Yes, starving would be, again, like good, awesome. Awesome is good, but even that much more. I would absolutely agree that I think starving and hungry is, I would like something to eat. Starving is hungry, but very, very hungry, that much more. Kind of the same as good and awesome, hungry and starving. So an expression, again, that we would use is to say, I'm starving. That could potentially, of course, be a hyperbole, and not in this lesson, but hyperboles are just when we're really overemphasizing something. So to say, if you're very, very hungry, absolutely, you can say, I'm starving. All right, and continuing on. Tissue. I bought some tissues at the store because I have a cold. So tissues or Kleenex, even though Kleenex is the name brand, but it is the first brand of tissues. So I'm at the very end of a cold. Of course, during winter time, when we do experience cold temperatures and a lot of snow or snow here in Spokane, which again is very beautiful, but it's not uncommon to get a cold. And when you have a cold, of course, you do use a lot of tissues. So tissue would be a noun. As we can see from this illustration in the picture, this woman is blowing her nose, we would say, is the expression, or what we would say, and she is using a tissue. So tissue, noun, and if it's helpful, in this picture, it's what the woman is holding to her face. All right. Erin, I love it. I am starving. I could eat a whole horse. And in English, that's a wonderful observation and great example. In English, we say, I'm so starving, I could eat a horse. Of course, a horse is a half-ton animal, so that would be a hyperbole. That would be an expression. Of course, we couldn't literally, truly eat a horse, but we're saying, I'm so hungry, I'm so starving, I could eat a horse. Great job, Erin, with that example. All right. Oh, Gabrielle, do you buy a box of tissues or a pack of tissues? You could buy either. You can have little packs of tissues to keep maybe in your pocket or in your purse or your bag, or if you actually have a box of tissues. So to answer your question, Gabrielle, and very good one, we could either say a pack of tissues if it was just a little package of them, or if we actually have a box of tissues. Great question. Steve Lynn, yes, hyperbole is exaggerating. If we're saying once more, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse, that doesn't mean that I could truly eat a horse. It is a hyperbole, it is exaggerating. Well done. All right, continuing on. The internet is being slow today. There we go. Trip. Now, we know in English that we have a lot of words that they are either pronounced the same or they are spelled the same, but they mean completely different things. So for our purposes, when we talk about trip, the example here, the player fell down because the other player tripped him. All right, that is different than trip as in vacation or holiday. It's different than trip as in going someplace. So as I said at the beginning of our lesson, I am hoping to take a trip to Spain later this year. For our purposes and our vocabulary, we're talking about trip as in we can see with this picture, with this example, the player fell down because the other player tripped him. I will tell you a quick funny story about tripping myself. I, a couple of years ago, was walking across the street in downtown Spokane. It was about 5 o'clock in the evening, so right as everyone is getting off work and going home. So as I'm walking across the intersection, there are 4 lanes, so a very popular street in downtown Spokane. There are 4 lanes of traffic or 4 lanes of cars, and as I'm walking across the street, I trip in front of everyone, and I fall down pretty hard. And I look up and I can see that the light is about to change, which of course presents the very real threat of being ran over by a car. So I tripped, I fell down, and tried to quickly jump up, and I just waved at the cars, took a little bow, and continued on my way across the stop walk, across the street. And when I got to the other side, silently hung my head because I was so embarrassed that I had tripped in front of so many people. But looking back on it now, it is a funny story. So to trip is to fall. We know with sports, and once more with this example, sometimes players will trip each other. It's usually a penalty. I know in soccer, you will get a yellow card if you purposely trip someone, if you purposely cause them to fall down. And once more, for our purposes and our vocabulary, we are not talking about taking a trip like a vacation or a holiday. So give me one moment. Look over at our comments. Okay. So yes, and Melinda, wonderful comment, wonderful observation. Trip can be used as both a noun and a verb. So to trip someone, once more, as we are using in our example, or I tripped when I was crossing the street. Don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but certainly now I can laugh about it, but it was embarrassing to trip in front of all those cars and all those people, but hopefully it gave them a good laugh. Right, continuing on. Trouble. Trouble. You will not have much trouble with this program. It's easy to use. Hopefully you are not having much trouble learning English using Smrt English and of course our live classes. So trouble would just be, we could use as a synonym, difficulty. So trouble, with this example, you will not have much trouble. You will not have much difficulty with this program. It's easy to use. So trouble, a synonym that I think is helpful or that we could use would be difficulty. All right. My English is troubling me a lot. Oh, Romeo. Well, as I've always said, as has always been my contention, so what I say, what I hold to be true, it is very difficult to learn a second language or a third language, fourth language. For some of you, it is difficult to learn and acquire a new language. You might have a little bit of trouble. That's natural. As I always say, just keep practicing, keep reviewing vocabulary and grammar. As I said a couple weeks ago, and it seemed like quite a few of you agreed and enjoyed the statement, with language in particular, use it or lose it. So with that said, if you are having trouble, I really encourage you to just keep practicing, keep pressing on, keep joining us for Smrt English, and hopefully your troubles with learning English will go away. It does get easier. Good. Very sorry to trouble you would be the same as sorry to bother you or sorry to interrupt you. Great. Trust. This is an interesting word to try to describe. As we can see with this picture, assumably this is a young woman with who I would guess is her grandmother. Don't worry, I will be there for you. So that means I'm not going to leave you. I will be there for you, either physically, emotionally, mentally, and whatever capacity you need me, I will be there for you, is the expression. You can trust me. So to put your trust in someone or to give someone your trust means that you believe in them. You believe they are trustworthy. So trustworthy literally just means worthy of your trust. So to trust someone, to put your beliefs in them, to know them to be trustworthy, someone you can count on, someone that will be there for you. All right. Natish, I hope you're not a troublemaker. I hope you are not a maker of trouble. All right, try on. So you should try on the shoes before you buy them. So we know with this vocabulary, it's largely about shopping and purchasing. And certainly when you go to buy shoes or clothes, you don't want them to be too tight. You should try them on before you buy them. So try on just means to put on, make sure that the clothes or the shoes fit. Try on would usually be what we would say when, once again, as with our vocabulary in general and at large, talking about shopping, talking about purchasing or buying, it's usually a good idea. It's wise advice to try on clothing or shoes, anything before you buy it, because you certainly don't want it to be too tight. Okay, wonderful. Good job, guys. Once more, I love the comments. All right, worried. I was worried that we would never get through this vocabulary list. With 60 words, that's a lot. But once more, there's just really great, very good words to have. But I was a bit worried, thinking 60 vocabulary words. That's such a long list. But I had no reason, of course, to be worried because you guys are all so wonderful. Worried with this example, as we can see, this woman seems to be troubled. Something is, we would say, bothering her. She seems worried. I'm a little worried about the problem. So please don't be worried if you are having trouble learning English. That's understandable. That's normal. Learning another language is always difficult. So don't be worried if you sometimes have a little bit of trouble. I think my advice as a teacher and as a smart teacher, moreover, is just keep practicing, keep reviewing, and as it always makes me happy to see, keep joining us for our live classes. And with that, we have finally wrapped up. We are done. We are finished with our vocabulary list. And well done, everyone. So jumping in, making good use of our time, we are now going to simple sentences. So we will be using this vocabulary in our lesson, comic book, which as we know is less of a book and almost kind of like a magazine. Comic books are usually paperback and they are a book that tells a story but in pictures. So Marvel comics, some of the most famous comic book characters, of course, are Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, comic books. Department store. Okay, again, reviewing our vocabulary, a department store is a store, but a store that sells a lot of different things. You can buy many different things because there are different departments within the store. Department store. And suit, That would be something that usually a gentleman wears, so very more formal dress. A suit is a piece of clothing that is generally worn by men, in particular, a bit more formally and most oftentimes in what we would say the business world. All right, so continuing down. There are 4 types of sentences in English. The first one is called a simple sentence, right? So a simple sentence has one independent clause. It's simple, it's to the point, it's short. An independent clause, as we know, must have a subject, a verb, and be a complete idea. So simple sentence is short, we would say to the point, but it is an independent clause and it must have a subject, what we're talking about or who we're talking about. It must have a verb, an action, something is done or has been done or will be done, a verb, subject, verb, and it has to be a complete idea. It has to be a whole and complete idea. And that's all there is for just a simple sentence, which is the first of the 4 main types of sentences used in English. Our example, Gary. So Gary, of course, is the subject, who we're talking about. What does Gary do? Gary buys, there's our verb, new shoes every 6 months. All right, Gary. I hope he tries them on to make sure that they're not too tight. So subject, who or what we're talking about, and then verb, what the action is for our simple sentences. So Gary buys new shoes every 6 months. So I'm going to go into our document and say that for a simple sentence, you have to have a subject, so what we're talking about or who we're talking about, and we have to have a verb. What is the action? And that is for our simple sentence. All right, continuing on. A simple sentence, it can be a positive statement, it can be a negative statement, or it can also be a question. So as a statement, I really like French food. So I and the subject, like is the verb. So I really like French food. I really enjoy French food. Our second example, Farah and Rachel don't have, so once more, as always, we know that that apostrophe and don't lets us know that something's been taken out. I find it helpful in my classroom that it's good practice as I'm speaking to my class. I actually speak the full word. So with that, Farah and Rachel do not have any plans for the weekend. So Farah and Rachel, those are the subjects. So here in this example, we have 2 subjects. Don't have, that's the action. Farah and Rachel don't have any plans for the weekend. And since simple sentences can also be used as questions, the last one is, here's our verb, is your mother home? So is our verb, your mother is the subject. So who we're talking about. Is your mother home? So I really enjoy French food. Farah and Rachel do not have any plans for the weekend. Is your mother home? All right. Great. And I enjoy French food. I enjoy Italian food. I enjoy Chinese food. I enjoy all food. As I travel that is one of my greatest joys, is experiencing new cuisine. So cuisine is the particular kind of food of a country or a culture. So I really, really enjoy trying new foods, trying new cuisine. It's one of my favorite things to do when I travel. All right. Subjects. So again, the subject is who or what the sentence is about. Subjects can be singular, so it can be one person, place, or thing, and plural. So plural, more than one. So more than one person, place, or thing. So once more to review, with our subjects, who or what we're talking about, so the main point of the sentence, and of course that has to be accompanied with a verb, with an action, but the subject is who or what the sentence is about, and it can be singular, it can be one, or it can be plural. 2, 3, 4, 10,000. Plural is just more than one. So as our examples, Kim needs a new suit for her job. So again, Kim would be well advised to try on the suit. Make sure that it's not too tight. As I said, traditionally suits are more of menswear, but of course, since it is a type of dress, a type of style, a type of clothing, women can wear suits as well. In this example, Kim needs a new suit for her job. So Kim is the subject, who we're talking about. Don't be confused and think, well, maybe suit, maybe the article or the type of clothing is the subject. Kim. Kim is the most important part and therefore the subject of this sentence, because Kim is who we are talking about, and then what she is doing. She needs a new suit for her job. And our example and our picture here, she is shopping for a new suit and will of course try it on. Okay, good. Department stores have a lot of different things to buy. Exactly, that's the purpose of a department store. Department stores are large because there's different departments. There's different places in the store that you can buy different things. So with that, yes, that's why you go to a department store, because they have a lot of things to buy. You have a lot of different options in your shopping. So here, department store is our subject. Okay, that is the place that we are talking about. All right, a simple sentence usually has one subject, but sometimes it can have more than one, so plural. These are called compound subjects. Let's look at our examples. My mother and father. So not just my mother, but my parents. My mother and father bought this cake at their favorite bakery. And I always enjoy our pictures that we have for Smart English. Clearly, this little girl looks hungry. All right? Okay, good. Our second example, Yvonne, Jongwon, and Victor don't have a lot of food for their party. All right, so once more, don't be confused and think that food or party is the subject. The people in the sentence, so Yvonne, Jongwon, and Victor, that's who we're talking about. And then we're commenting that our subjects don't have a lot of food for their party. And here we have, of course, a lot, as we know, is 2 words. So with our verbs, we know verbs are action words. The verb of a sentence is the action or state. What that means is these are doing are the doing and the being words of the sentence. And they also have a tense. So we know that tense means when it took place or when it will take place. Which tense are we talking about? Our first example, we're talking past tense. This is in the past. It's already happened. It's already taken place. So past tense, we got home. Okay, we got home at 11 o'clock last night. So past tense for our verb, got. It already happened. It's in the past. It was last night. We got home at 11 o'clock. As our present tense, it's happening now, or it's taking place now, or it is now. Uncle Randy is in the kitchen with Aunt Lynn. Right? So we're saying in the present tense, this is taking place right now. So is our verb, our present tense. This is currently happening. This is currently taking place. This is the present. That Uncle Randy is in the kitchen with Aunt Lynn. Now, our future tense, or when we're talking, my friend collects. So he or she has collected, currently collects, and will continue to collect comic books and video games. So my friend, that's our subject, my friend collects comic books and video games. Now, if you're familiar and you have watched other Smrt Live videos, you know the wonderful Mr. Neil. I helped Neil move a couple years ago, and what I didn't know is that Neil collects comic books, and he has an incredible assortment, or I would even say library, of comic books. So if you watch the other Smrt Live teachers and lessons and are familiar with the fantastic Mr. Neil, interesting fact, Mr. Neil collects comic books and video games. So here, my friend or Mr. Neil, that's our subject. The verb, what they do, what he does, he collects comic books. All right? Give me one moment. I'm going to check over in our comments. All right. Wonderful. Okay, continuing on. So just like with subjects, simple sentences usually have one verb, but they can't have more than one. Right? Looking at our examples, these are called compound verbs. So if we have more than one subject in our simple sentence, more than one subject would be compound subjects. More than one verb or action or state in the same way would be called compound verbs. Let's look at our examples. I checked my email and shopped online. And again, to review, this is past tense. So it's already happened. It's already been done. Past tense, I checked my email and shopped online. So here we have compound verbs. We have two. There are two actions that have been done or have taken place. In our first example, that's checked and shopped. Our second example, his cooking smells strange, but tastes delicious. So our two verbs and our compound verb, simple sentence, smells and taste. And once more, in my travels, I found that to be true, that a very common saying in English language is don't judge a book by its cover. What that simply means is that don't judge or make a judgment or assumption just by looking at something or looking at a person. Can't judge a book by its cover. You have to actually open it and see what's inside. In a like way, I would say don't always judge food simply by the smell. Because sometimes in my experience, and again, trying different kinds of foods and cuisine, his cooking smells strange, but it tastes delicious. So here once more are two verbs for our compound verbs, are smells and taste. All right? Great. Ha! The French Leo. All right. Okay, we are going to joke with Neil about his collection. You absolutely should. Ask him what his favorite or most treasured, most prized comic book is. And truly, when I was helping him move, he had multiple, so more than one, plural. He had many bins of comic books. And I thought that was just fantastic. So who knew? Mr. Neil collects comic books. And yes, I agree. You should absolutely joke around with him about his comic books. Ask him which ones are his favorite, because he has many. All right. Oh, and again, the French Leo. Do we need a comma before but? That would depend on your sentence, and if you're speaking or you're writing and you're saying but, comma, so there's a pause, and then continuing on with your thought. Great question. All right. So yes, thank you, Romeo. We need a comma before but when it comes in a compound or complete sentence. Well done. You should be a teacher, Mr. Romeo. Thank you for adding that comment. All right, so we have a few more minutes before we wrap up class, and I'm actually going to go back once more to our common mistakes that English speakers and writers make, because I thought of one more as we are going through our lesson. And that is to, and to. So our first, simply to, is I'm writing an email to my friend, or I am going to Neil's house to help him move. TOO is in too much. Okay, more than enough. I was so hungry. I was so starving. I thought I could eat a horse, but I ate too much. And now my pants and my clothes are too tight. So TOO. And then, of course, TWO, the letter 2. So TO, I'm going to someplace. I am writing an email or a letter to someone. TOO, as in too much. I ate too much because I was so hungry, or I drank too much because I was so thirsty. And then TWO, as in the number 2. So common mistakes that English speakers and writers make in review as we are wrapping up this week's lesson. A lot, it's 2 words, TWO, 2 words. Your, as in possession or ownership, your, versus your, shortened for you are. And once more, never forget, always remember that when you see an apostrophe, that lets us know that we have shortened something, that we have taken part of the word out and shortened you are to your. So your versus your. There, and there. So there, as in a place. Spain. I'm so excited to visit Spain. I can't wait to go there. not to be confused with their, as in ownership. And of course, the last, they are, there. It's more that apostrophe letting us know that we've taken out parts of the two words and put them together. So there, they are. And then our last two, and two. To, I'm going to someplace, or I'm writing a letter or an email to someone. TOO, as in too much. And then TWO, as in just the number 2. So, a new part of our class that I will update as I think of examples or as I see examples. Common mistakes that English speakers and writers make. But of course, you all won't, because you are such wonderful learners and you are smart learners. And thankfully, as always, have joined me this morning where I'm at in beautiful Spokane, Washington, at the Spokane College of English Language in our Smart Live class. As always, if you would like to become a premium subscriber, you can scroll to the bottom of the video and find out how. And we are almost out of time, but I just wanted to check once more and finally see if there's any questions or comments. All right. Wonderful. Okay, thanks guys so much. Once more, as always, it makes my heart happy when I come in and I get ready and I open the chat box and I see that all of you have joined us for our Smart Live class. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful comments and your questions. And I will share this document with our premium subscribers, which once more, if you're interested in becoming, just scroll to the bottom, and wherever you are at in the world, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much. This has been Abby with Smart English.